guys, it's Brie. So I was asked to do a video on how to use rumps, or more specifically, rumps or amps. More specifically, how to use cloth menstrual pads at a camp. Now, I think the term camp means different things to Americans and to people from Britain. In the UK, I would think of a camp as going to a campsite, a camping trip with, tents and caravans and that sort of stuff. Not really like a school trip type thing. So this video is actually going to be more about using rumps when you go camping. Now, when I say camping, I'm presuming that you are actually at a campsite that has, wash facilities and that sort of thing when I say this, and you're not just in the middle of nowhere. Because I've never actually camped in the middle of nowhere with my period, but my first period I ever had, I got on a camping trip. So I'm pretty good at, figuring out how to do things whilst on a campsite. But we did have, toilets and I think wash facilities as well. But I'm not sure whether we had a washing room. And yeah, really not sure. So I just have 2 pads to help me demonstrate. This is a Dimple Muff and a Mimi's Dreams pad. And they're just random to help me show what I'm talking about. So these are cloth pads. For those of you who don't know, look at my channel. There's a lot more information on what they actually are. But to use them on a camping trip, you have 2 main options, to be honest. You can either choose to bring a few and wash them as you go, or you can choose to just use them while you're there and not wash them until you come back. It is perfectly possible to wash them whilst you're there using a bucket and some water. If you have, sometimes they do have laundry facilities at these places, and obviously if you have that, all you need to do is chuck these in the washing machine and you'll be good. But if they don't, and they only have like the toilets and the sink and everything in there, and you don't really want to show people, then the best thing for you to do is you'll need a good stash of pads. So think about on average how many pads you use on your cycle. So my cycle is about, my cycle is 5 days long, exactly 5 days long. And the first day's heavy, the next 2 days are regular, the next day's light, and the next day is spotting. So I know that I don't need many heavy pads, but I do need more regular pads. So I probably would use, if I was only using pads, but I use cups quite a lot, so I've never actually done a fully cloth cycle, because I sometimes intend to do it and then just think, no, I love my cups too much. I love not being able to feel the blood. And if you're using a menstrual cup, it'll be a lot easier, because all you'll need to do is get some water for a water bottle, fill up some water with a tap outside the toilet stool, and then go in and pour the water over the menstrual cup when you're in there, and you'll clean it out easily. But with cloth pads, it's a little bit trickier than that. So I guess I probably would need 5 heavy pads for my heavy day, 10 or 12 regular pads for the 2 regular days I have, and then about 4 light pads for the next day, and then 3 panty liners. So I don't have any idea how many I just said then. I will add up the number and put it here, but that's the number of pads that you're going to need. I would need for a camping trip, and I would always add an extra 1 or 2 to that just in case, because you never know. Personally, I'm not really worried about, washing my pads and hanging them up, because I don't care what people think. But if you are really worried about people seeing your cloth pads, and I mean, if you're in the middle of nowhere, then if you have you must have some sort of water supply for drinking and stuff. You might not have enough to wash things in, but you can obviously just leave them out. That'll be fine, no one can see them. But if you're on a campsite and you don't want people to see them, you can't really hang them up to dry in your tent, because they'll be quite damp and they really need to get some air and dry out there, and you don't want them dripping on the floor, because you won't be able to spin them, obviously, because you'll have to hand wash them. But if you're fine with showing them outside, then you won't need as many pads as that, so you can just have a few more pads. I would say about 10 pads, and you could just wash them as you go and leave them out to dry in the sun and stuff, and they should get to dry really quickly. And if it's not sunny, then just out in the wind will do. In the UK we don't have a lot of sun, so yeah. So other essentials that you're going to need if you are using cloth pads and you don't want to wash them is you're going to need to have a big wet bag. Ideally one of the travel wet bags. I sell them on my website actually. They're quite a decent sized wet bag, and they have 2 pockets, a dry one at the front and a wet one at the back. So you can put all the clean ones in the front pocket, and then as you use them, put all the soiled ones in the back pocket. And that is all you'll need for it. You'll only need that one wet bag because it's got 2 pockets in it. And you just basically take them, go to the bathroom with your 2 pads, take off your soiled one and just fold it up like so, and slip it into your wet bag. Take the new one out and put it on, and you can keep going through that process, taking clean ones out and putting the soiled one in the soil pocket, and you'll be fine with that. You'll easily need them. If you're worried about staining, then if you have some darker coloured pads, that might be your whole pad stash you need to take with you actually. But if you do have a large stash like I do, try and take your darker coloured pads that aren't blue or white. The rest of the print should be fine, and you're very unlikely to get stainings. Staining. If you stain treat them at the time, or when you come home, put them in a bucket of water and put some sorry, that's my phone, antioxidant stuff in it, Vanish Oxy Action, and that will just get rid of any stains. You don't have to worry about your pads staining. I've never had an issue. I have treated pads 2 weeks after I've bled on them, just because I forgot I put them in my wet bag in my handbag, and I had no issues with staining. It doesn't smell because there's no chemicals for it to react with. If you left it for a very long period of time, then yes, it might possibly smell and get mildew and stuff. But it's the same with a disposable, you know. So I hope that helped you guys. If you were interested in how you could possibly do this when you're on a camping holiday, or if you're just away. Usually when you're on holiday in a hotel though, you can rinse these out under the sink. I just did a video actually the other day on how to hand wash a cloth pad. So it's really easy in those instances. You don't need anywhere near as many pads. But in an instance where you have toilets that are shared, you know, and you won't necessarily have a laundry room or anything you can get to, then it might be a good idea to do this particular method. So thanks for watching guys. Please subscribe, like me on Facebook and Instagram, and check out all the pages below, including my website, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.